I died choking on my own rage in that godforsaken hospital bed, the beeps of the monitors mocking me as my so-called family hovered like vultures, whispering about divvying up my estate before the flatline even hit. The last thing I saw was my sister's crocodile tears, smudged mascara running like the lies she'd spun to get me there, ruined, broke, and alone after they sued me for every dime I'd clawed my way to earn. But death? It was just a reset button on a nightmare I thought I'd escaped, slamming me back into my 28-year-old body, heart pounding in a coffee shop on a crisp Manhattan morning 3 years earlier, the lawsuit papers not even a whisper yet. The shock hit like a freight train. I gasped, spilling my overpriced latte across the Formica table, the steam rising like ghosts from my grave. Lillian?
You okay, hon?
The barista's voice yanked me from the void, her face the same perky 20-something it had been that day. The day before the calls started, before the demands, before the betrayal that buried me alive. I was back. God, or whatever cruel joke the universe played, had spat me out into this exact moment, wallet fat with my first big bonus, apartment lease fresh on my desk, and a family that hadn't yet sunk their claws in deep enough to draw blood. But I remembered every cut. The way Mom's voice cracked over the phone that fateful spring, all honeyed guilt. Lily, baby, your sister's in a bind. That house in the suburbs, it's her dream, you know? And with your daddy's health, we need you. Dad, silent in the background, probably nursing his third scotch, the man who'd taught me to hustle from the streets of Queens to Wall Street. By then, I'd built a life. Senior analyst at a cutthroat firm, portfolio humming, no room for their endless emergencies. Sarah, my golden child sister, had dropped out of college for some artist boyfriend, racking up debt like badges of rebellion, while I paid the bills for all of them under the table for years. The demand came casual at first, over Easter brunch in their cramped Jersey row house. Just co-sign the mortgage, Lil. 20 grand down, and you're set as co-owner. I laughed it off, fork midway to my mouth, hem congealing on the plate. But their eyes, Mom's pleading, Dad's averted, Sarah's gleaming with that entitled spark, turned it sour. Weeks later, the lawyer's letter, not just co-sign, but front the whole damn thing. $295,000. Family helps family, it read, laced with threats of dragging up old debts from my inheritance share of Grandma's estate, a pittance they'd squandered years ago on Sarah's education. Refusal was instinct. I hired my own shark, a pit bull named Marco from the firm's legal wing, and countersued for harassment. That's when the real knives came out. They painted me as the ungrateful black sheep in affidavits, dredging up childhood scraps, me stealing Sarah's toys, abandoning them for the city lights. Sarah testified with rehearsed sobs about my emotional abuse, claiming I'd gaslit her into that dead-end marriage. The judge, some silver-haired relic, ate it up, slapping me with discovery orders that bled my savings dry. Stress clawed at me like a rabid dog. Nights blurred into codeine-fueled hazes, heart racing erratic until one dawn. It just stopped. Massive coronary, they called it. Age 31, prime of my life, felled by familial greed. Now, here I was 3 years prior, pulse thundering under my silk blouse, the scent of fresh croissants snapping me to the present. My phone buzzed, Mom's text. Dinner tonight? Miss you, kiddo. The old me would have replied with a heart emoji, driven straight from work. But the new me? The one who'd flatlined to their chance of she was always difficult. I deleted it unread, fingers trembling as I plotted my first move. Revenge wasn't a word. It was oxygen. And this time, I'd make them choke on it. I didn't rush. Rushing got you sloppy, and sloppy got you sued, or worse, dead. First, I needed armor. That bonus check? Instead of blowing it on the Tribeca loft eyed, I funneled it into a blind trust, ironclad, untouchable by blood relations. Marco got a call the next day, not as my firm's guy, but as a private retainer, $50,000 upfront to audit every family financial thread. Dig deep, Marco. I want skeletons, not shadows. He delivered faster than expected. Turns out, Mom and Dad's hard times weren't bad luck. They were a Ponzi-like scheme run out of Dad's auto shop. Fudged invoices, ghost clients, siphoning pension funds from loyal grease monkeys who'd trusted him for decades. Sarah? Complicit as hell. She'd forged my signature on a student loan cosign back in college. $40K I'd paid off blind, thinking it was her tuition. And the mortgage? Not a dream home, but a flip house bought with laundered cash from Dad's side hustle, deeded solely to her to dodge IRS audits. The secret burned. They'd planned to use me as the fall guy all along. Leak evidence of my involvement, if the feds sniffed around, pinning it on the city girl who'd forgotten her roots. My death. Collateral in their narrative. This stressed-out exec who'd cracked under family pressure, leaving everything to them in a haze of grief. Controversy brewed in my veins. Cut them off cold? Too merciful. Expose them publicly? That'd drag innocence into the mud. Dad's old crew. Neighbors who'd babysat me. No, my revenge would be surgical, laced with decisions that'd make headlines, split opinions like a Rorschach test. Was I the villain for weaponizing truth against kin? Or the hero reclaiming what's hers? America loved that debate. True crime pods, Reddit threads dissecting every angle. I'd feed the beast. Step 1. The olive branch, poisoned. I showed up to that dinner. Bottle of Dad's favorite rye in hand, smile plastered like war paint. The table was a minefield. Sarah's new ring glinting, bought on credit, I knew. Mom's forced chatter about church bingo. Lily, you look tired, hon. Work killing you? Something like that, I said, sliding into my chair. Dad grunted approval at the booze, pouring heavy. Small talk flowed, then the hook. Heard about Sarah's house hunt. Exciting. You closing soon? Her eyes lit, predator-scenting chum. Yeah, Lil. It's perfect, 4 beds. Yard for the kids will have. But the down payment. Banks are sharks. I nodded, sympathetic. I get it. Hey, what if I help? Not cash, better. I know a guy at Chase can vouch for the loan. But first, let's get your books clean. Dad, those shop receipts? IRS loves tidy files. The room chilled. Mom's fork clattered. What are you on about, girl? Just protecting family, I purred. Marco, my lawyer, says loose ends bite back. Let him review. Pro bono. Sarah's laugh was brittle. We don't need handouts. Or audits. But Dad, ever the opportunist, wavered. What's the catch? No catch. Just truth. By dessert, I'd maneuvered them into signing access forms, digital trails I'd forge into nooses later. Nights blurred into strategy sessions. I hit the gym, channeling fury into deadlifts that'd make a CrossFitter weep, body hardening like my resolve. Dates? Cancelled. Friends texted concern. I ghosted, isolation my sharpening stone. The first controversial call. Leak a teaser. Anonymous tip to a local Jersey rag. Auto shop owner schemes employee pensions? No names, just enough to spook Dad into confession mode. He called me panicked. Lily, what the hell? You hear this crap? Wild, right? But hey, clean house, Dad. Let Marco in. He caved, spilling docs that confirmed every embezzle. Marco's report landed like a gut punch, pages of redacted ledgers, emails between Sarah and a shady accountant plotting the mortgage as a clean slate. But the real venom? Grandma's will. Not the pittance I'd thought. She'd left me the bulk, $500K in bonds, earmarked for my independent spirit. Mom and Dad had managed it into vapor, funneled to Sarah's startup, a failed Etsy knockoff peddling overpriced candles. Forged codicils, witnessed by their pastor buddy. Felony territory. I could have gone nuclear. FBI tip, watch em rot in orange. But that was clean revenge, forgettable. No, I wanted mess. The kind that festered in living rooms across the heartland, sparking bar fights over, is family sacred or just a scam? My move, the family summit. I rented a neutral spot, a sterile conference room in Midtown, under the guise of reconciling for Sarah's wedding. They arrived wary, Dad in his best polo, Mom clutching rosaries, Sarah preening in white like a sacrificial lamb. I laid it out over catered paninis, the will, the forgeries, the Ponzi threads. We're in this together. I lied, voice steady as a surgeon's. But secrets? They kill. Sign this restitution agreement. I front the mortgage. You repay from shop profits, and we probate Grandma's estate proper. Mom gasped, crossing herself. Lily Marie, that's blackmail. Love, Mom. Tough love. Sarah bolted up, chair scraping like nails on chalkboard. You're jealous. Always have been. Of my life, my happiness. Your happiness built on my back. I shot back, voice low thunder. That ring? My bond money. The house? Dad's stolen pensions. Dad's face crumpled, whiskey veins pulsing. We did it for you girls. Equal shares. Equal? I laughed, bitter as black coffee. I paid your lights for a decade while Sarah partied. This ends now, or the world knows. The decision hung, sign or swing. They signed, pens scratching like pleas for mercy. But I embedded trackers, clauses triggering public filings if payments lagged. Controversial? Hell yes. Reddit would call me a monster, slicing kin for coin. Fox News, entitled Millennial Torments Parents. CNN, woman exposes family fraud, hero or heel? I'd sip my latte, watching the flames. With leverage locked, Phase 2, dismantle Sarah. She was the architect, the one who'd whispered in Mom's ear about Lily's too selfish for her own good. I tailed her. Nothing creepy, just apps on gifted phones, pings revealing motel meets with her artist ex, now a married prof at Rutgers. Blackmail fodder? Nah. Better. Confrontation. I cornered her at a bridal boutique in Soho, racks of lace mocking her facade. Nice dress. Matches the lies. She spun, veil askew. Stalking now? Cease. Protecting investments. I slid photos across her and the prof, time-stamped. Wedding's off if this hits bridal boards. Or pay up, Grandma's cut. Wired today. Her slap echoed, cheeks stinging like validation. You bitch. This is why no one loves you. Love? You sued for it. She wired half by sundown, tears emoji flooding my inbox. But the wire? Traced to an offshore account, her own slush fund from influencer gigs. Stolen content, really. Deeper rabbit hole. Dad's shop next. I invested. $100K loan, collateral his lifeblood. But audits revealed more. He'd cooked books from mobbed-up supplier, washing cars for wise guys who'd vanished witnesses. The secret? One stiffed employee, old Manny from the block, who'd OD'd suspicious after whistleblowing. Dad's hands weren't bloody, but they reeked. My play, Whistleblower 2.0. I met Manny's widow in a diner off the turnpike, coffee steaming between us. He mentioned discrepancies, she said, eyes hollow. But family, you protect your own. Not always. I handed her Marco's file, anonymous. Use it. For Manny. She did, quiet suit, no splash. Dad folded, shop shuttered, pension pot restored. He called, slurred. You happy now? Ruined us. Free. I corrected. You built the cage. Tension coiled tighter. Dreams haunted, my hospital death replaying, Sarah's hand on my fore like she owned the poison. Paranoia? Or prescience? I hired security, shadows in my periphery. The lawsuit loomed in memory. I fast-forwarded, prepping counters. Therapy records proving their gaslighting, financial trails like nooses. Controversy peaked at Sarah's save-the-date party. A backyard bash in the half-built house. Mortgage papers mocking from the fridge. I crashed uninvited, mic in hand like a TED reject. To family, I toasted, voice amplified. The kind that steals, sues, and survives. Phones whipped out as I dropped docs, scans of forgeries, wire fraud screenshots. Gasps rippled. Guests, neighbors, in-laws froze. Mom wailed. Stop this. You're destroying us. Already destroyed, I said. eyes on Sarah's paling face. By you. Cops came later, not for me, but them. IRS vans idled on patrol. Sarah's hubby-to-be bolted, ring returned via FedEx. Dad's arrest? Quiet, cuffs in the garage, grease under nails like final confession. But the twist whispered. Was this victory? My reflection in the precinct glass showed hollow eyes, a woman armored in spite. Friends gone, lovers scared off. America cheered the takedown. Podcasts dubbed me the Inheritance Avenger. But alone in my high-rise, city lights blurring, I wondered if revenge was just another grave. The fallout was biblical. Jersey headlines screamed, "Daughter exposes parents' pension heist. $200,000 stolen from workers." Protests outside the old shop. Manny's widow on local news. Tear-streaked but tall. Justice for the forgotten. Dad's mugshot trended on Twitter. That perpetual scowl memed into greedy garage godfather. Sarah? Cancelled before cancel culture peaked. Instagram nuked for fraudfluencer. Her empowerment posts dissected as grifts. I watched from afar. Bunker in my fortified walk-up. Takeout cartons piling like war trophies. Marco advised laying low. You're the spark, Lil. Winds shift, you burn too. But low wasn't my style. Controversy was currency now. I leaned in, guesting on a true crime pod out of Brooklyn. Family's not blood, I told the host, mic hot under Klieg lights. It's choice. They chose greed. I chose survival. Listeners split. Team Lillian versus Blood is Thicker. Threads exploding with sob stories of estranged kin. One viral clip. Me tearing up. I died for them, metaphorically at first. Ratings soared. Offers trickled. Book deals. Consulting for toxic family seminars. I took none. This wasn't fame. It was reckoning. Yet cracks spidered. Mom's letters from county lockup, pleading scrawls on lined paper. Forgive, Lily. We were desperate. Your father. The debts from your birth. We never recovered. Bullshit. I'd seen the ledgers. Desperation was a choice, like forging my future for Sarah's whims. Her visits started unannounced. Through glass at Rikers, her once coiffed hair a gray tangle. You happy destroying your mother? First session, she spat scripture, Job's trials. Second, Sarah's pregnant. You did this. Her stress, the loss. Pregnant. The word landed like shrapnel. In my old life, no grandkids. Sarah's miscarriage, post my death a ploy for sympathy bucks on GoFundMe. Now? Real or ruse? I probe Marco. Check OBGYN records. Confirmed. 8 weeks, viable. Guilt nod, controversial as a back-alley abortion debate. End the line? Or extend mercy, risk the cycle? Decision. Arm's length aid. I wired anonymous, prenatal care, no strings. But Sarah? Radio silence until a midnight call, voice slurry. It's yours too, you know. The baby. Family. Family sued me for $295K. I reminded, line crackling like conscience. Payback's a bitch. She hung up, I blocked. But the seed rooted. Revenge's rot, turning Avenger to architect of orphans. Phase 3. The preemptive strike. Memory's lawsuit ghosted me. That spring deposition, their lawyer twisting my refusals into abandonment. I beat it to the punch, filing first. Civil suit for fraud, emotional distress, the works. $1.2 million asked, symbolic blood price. Media frenzy doubled. Court TV crews camped my stoop. The hearing was theater, Brooklyn Federal, wood-paneled like a coffin. Dad, out on bail, hobbled in with a cane, playing martyr. Mom testified, voice quavering. She was always angry, Your Honor. Jealous of Sarah's light. Sarah, belly budding under empire waist, clutch tissues. My sister's poison. This baby's all I have left. My turn. Cool, cross-examined. Ms. Hargrove, did you forge documents to steal your daughter's inheritance? Their lawyer objected. Judge overruled. I laid exhibits, scans, witnesses. Dad cracked on stand, mumbling. It was for the girls. Equal. Equal? I echoed, voice slicing. I paid your mortgage for years while Sarah shopped. This, waving the old demand letter I'd found. This was theft planned. Gasps from the gallery. Jurors, blue-collar mix, Jersey accents thick, leaned in, eyes judging not just facts, but the American dream's underbelly. Bootstrap kid versus leeching nest. Recess brought the twist shadow. Marco pulled me aside. Anomaly in the books. Grandma's will? Not just forged, witnessed by you. As a teen. Coerced signature, maybe? Flashback hit. 16, summer haze, Mom's hand heavy on my shoulder. Signed here, Lily. For Sarah's college. You're the big sister. I'd scrawled, blind trust, ink drying like a noose. Secret buried. I'd enabled it, unwittingly the first domino. Guilt surged, controversial calculus, self-blame in revenge's mirror? Drop charges, heel fractured? Or press, own the complicity? I pressed. Truth's messy, I told Marco. Let the jury sort. Climax brewed in sidebar whispers. Prosecutors eyed criminal charges. Rico whispers for the mob ties. Dad's supplier? Singing like Sinatra for immunity. My family's empire crumbled live on C-SPAN. But Sarah's water broke mid-trial, dramatic as a soap opera, ambulance wail cutting cross-exam. Court adjourned. I followed to the ER, heart-hammering old rhythms. Hallway vigil, fluorescent buzz, her cries echoing my deathbed beeps. Doctor emerged. Healthy boy. Mother stable.
Boy.
My nephew. Innocent in the crossfire. Visiting hours. Sarah, sweat slick, cradling him. Name's Liam. After Dad. Eyes met. Hers defeated, mine. Softening? You win, Lil. Take it all. I touched his tiny fist, warmth piercing armor. Not winning. Surviving. The decision, drop the civil suit, but not the restitution. Controversial mercy. Pundits howled sellout. Or redemption arc? Outside, rain slicked the streets, city pulse mocking my paws. Revenge tasted ash, blood money, fool's gold. But the game's not over. Twists lingered, like Dad's last plea. There's more, kid. The real why. Dad's more dangled like bait in a post-trial meetup. Neutral ground, a cheesecake factory off the interstate. Kitsch drowning sincerity. Bail kept him free pending appeals. He looked shrunken, polo hanging loose, eyes darting like a cornered rat.
Sit, Lily. Eat.
Cheesecakes on me. Last time, maybe. I slid into the booth, untouched tiramisu between us.
Spill.
No games. He poked at his pasta, fork trembling.
The shop.
It wasn't just greed. Back in '08 crash, we lost the house. Real one in Queens. You were teens. Remember the fights? Vaguely. Nights on the couch, Mom's sobs, Sarah's tantrums. I'd buried it, hustling 2 jobs post-grad to help. So? Everyone hurt. Not like us. Voice dropped. I borrowed from Vinny, old neighborhood guy. Protection money, they called it. Shop-fronted loans, but rates. Compounded hell. Mob ties confirmed, but deeper. Vinny's crew had muscled Manny out, not Dad. He knew too much. I looked away for Sarah's sake. College fund, see. Blame shifting, classic. And Grandma's money? My signature? Your ma pushed. Said you'd understand. Big dreams and all. He leaned, conspiratorial. But the lawsuit plan? That was Sarah. She found the old debts. Twisted it. Make Lil pay, she said. She's loaded now. Sarah? The mastermind? Pieces clicked. Her smug text pre-demand. The lawyer her uncle's friend. Betrayal layered. Onion of deceit peeling to core rot. Controversial revelation. Was she victim too, warped by parent sins? Or serpent whole cloth? I probed. Proof? Her laptop. Hidden partition. Emails to the prof, plotting the suit as inheritance reset. Sent it to me last week. Scared you'd bury us all. Laptop in play. I snatched it post-meal. Dad's parting gift laced with desperation. Marco cracked it overnight. Goldmine. Sarah's manifesto. Diary entries ranting my privilege. Spreadsheets modeling the $295,000 grab as reparations. Twist within, she'd known about my heart risk, stole my medical file from a hacked doc portal, dosed my care package with stressors, caffeine pills mislabeled as vitamins, to push you over. Murder premeditated.
My death. No accident. Rajebailed. Pure kerosene.
But evidence? Circumstantial. Poison traces nil in autopsy. Still, leverage eternal. Phase 4. The confrontation royale. I lured her to Central Park, autumn leaves crunching underfoot like brittle loyalties. Baby Liam in a stroller, oblivious, her armor postpartum thin. Walk with me, sis. Family chat. She eyed wary, pushing the carriage. What now? You took everything, shop. Dad's freedom, my life. Your life, I echoed, bench creaking as we sat. The one you tried to end mine for. I slid printouts, emails, spreadsheets, the pill bottle analysis. Marco rushed. Her face drained, milk pale.
Lies.
You twisted it. Twist like your testimony. Emotional abuse, to cover fraud? Liam fussed. She rocked automatic, maternal mask cracking. Why, Sarah? I covered your ass since diapers. Tears welled, ugly cry real. Because you left. City girl, fancy suits, while I stayed, cleaned their messes. Mom said you owed us, for leaving me with them. Victim card, flipped. Owed? I sent checks monthly. You cashed them for Louis Vuitton.
Proof I'm worthless.
Sobs hitched. Prof promised escape, then bailed. Dad's debts? I fixed them alone. The suit. It was payback. Make you feel the trap. Confession spilled. Coerced by isolation. My success, her mirror of failure. Controversial empathy. Sympathize with the snake? Or strike? I chose hybrid. Help me end it. Testify against them, Vinny's crew. Immunity for you, Liam. She recoiled. Snitch? They'd kill us. Better than prison. Standoff stretched, ducks quacking mockery. She nodded broken. For him. The sting operation launched, feds looped in, Sarah wired, her calls to Dad bait. We fight back, Pop Lil's bluffing. He bit, spilling mob meets in a bug diner. Bust went cinematic, sweat at dawn, Vinny's warehouse raided, ledgers seized. Dad flipped too, canary and coal mine, trading silence for reduced time. Media storm. Sister duo takes down crime clan, from feud to felons nabbed. Hargrove heroes trended. Oprah's people called. But tension peaked in shadows. Anonymous threats scrawled on my door. Blood washes debts. Security doubled. Sleep fled. Climax brewed in family court. Custody for Liam. Sarah's plea for leniency. I testified neutral. She's flawed, but redeemable. Judge granted supervised progress? Or ploy? Twist's knife. Post-hearing, Mom cornered me in the lot, free on technicality. You think you're clean? That signature, your hand started this. We all damned. Truth stung. My teen naivete, the enabling seed. Revenge's mirror. Avenger or accomplice. I drove into dusk, skyline swallowing sun. Ending mirrored, happy, with fractured peace? Or tragic, cycle unbroken? The trials blurred into a legal blur. Federal for the mob, state for the fraud, family court threading domestic shrapnel. Dad got 8 years, minimum security upstate, conjugals with Mom her consolation. She walked on a plea, community service scrubbing church floors, rosary beads her new chains. Sarah? House arrest in the dream home, ankle monitor beeping like a guilty heartbeat, Liam's coups her only light. I could have vanished, new city, new name, Wall Street's siren call louder sans baggage. But roots clung, controversial as a Confederate flag in Brooklyn. Visits became ritual. Dad's prison yard, chessboard between barbed wire, his moves predictable as his excuses. Proud of you, kid. Tough like your ma. Proud, I countered, pawns sacrificed. You killed pieces of us all. He nodded, king cornered.
But you?
You rebuilt the board. Mom's chats softer, over diner pie, her hands knitting booties for Liam. Forgive me, Lily. For the girl, I failed. Forgiveness isn't free, I said, but signed the card anyway. Mercy, the ultimate controversy, pundits debated. Lillian's soft spot, sucker or saint. Sarah's thaw slowest. Supervised playdates in the park, Liam's giggles bridging chasms. Aunt Lil, he'd babble, chubby fingers clutching my necklace, Grandma's locket, reclaimed from evidence lockers. One dusk, her confession complete. I hated you because I wanted to be you. Free. Freedom's lonely, I admitted, bench warm from shared sits. But we choose it daily. The final twist uncoiled in a lawyer's office, probate unsealed, Grandma's full will read. Not just bonds, a letter, yellowed, to me alone. Lillian, my firebrand, use this not for vengeance but vision. Build what they broke. Enclosed, deeds to a queen's brownstone, untouched, worth millions now. The real inheritance, not money, but legacy. They'd hidden it, fearing I'd bolt forever. Tears pricked, shock of abundance, ache of what-ifs. My death, a catalyst not curse. Rebirth's gift, not just revenge, but reclamation. Ending crafted deliberate, no tidy bow, but threads rewoven. I sold the stone, funded a foundation, Hargrove Haven, aid for wage slaves stiffed by kin or kinfolk. Sarah joined board, post-sentence, her mommy blog pivoting to advocacy. Dad wrote op-eds from cell block, lessons from the grease pit. Mom knit circles for inmates' kids.
Me?
Back to the grind, but lighter. Therapy unpacked the guilt. Dates bloomed tentative. A barista named Jax. Latte spills are meet cute, his laugh chasing ghosts. America digested the saga. Books penned, mine, bestseller. Docs streamed, Netflix bid war. Debates raged, family first or self first. But I tuned out, walking Manhattan mornings, pulse steady. Hook's echo. I died betrayed, reborn furious. Lived vengeful, ended. Whole, not happy-clappy, nor tragic dirge. Real, scarred, stitched, striding forward. Blood money paid, bonds, if not mended, at least acknowledged. In the end, revenge wasn't the win. It was the mirror, forcing truth. And damn if it didn't make a hell of a reflection. Epilogue whisper. Liam's first steps, toward me, not away. Cycle? Maybe bent, not broken. For now, that's grace enough.